In my book, Hire, Inspire, and Fuel Their Fire, How to Recruit, Onboard, and Train New Employees to Live Your Culture Out Loud, I talk about the importance of starting to teach new hires your culture even before they've started working for you, even before day one. And ideally, even just through the hiring process, they've learned something about your culture. Through the research they've done on your website, they've learned something about your culture because you're explaining your culture on your website, hopefully, in very meaningful ways. But even before they've started working for you, once you've selected a candidate, use that time in between when they've been selected and when they actually start with you to start teaching them about your culture. Here are a few ways to do that. And of course, idea is not just to instill some of your values in your new hires, but also just to make that connection. It's so important to do that early, before day one, so the onboarding process is as positive, as inspiring as possible. So first of all, I suggest sending a thank you card, just a handwritten thank you card from the specific team who's going to be working with that person. Or better still, why not create a fun welcome video from that person's team to welcome them in their new position and make them feel like they're already part of the team. Try to get all the administrative stuff out of the way too before they start on day one. This is really important, so do that in-between space before they've started, so they don't have to spend day one in your workplace bogged down filling out forms and paperwork after paperwork. That's not a terribly inspiring start to any position. So get all that stuff out of the way so you can start day one on a more inspiring, positive, and meaningful note. Send a fun, creative welcome gift package to their home and include some things for their family members that shows that you've done your homework, you've done a little research, so you know a little bit about their personal interests, their hobbies, their family. Of course, if you want them to learn about your culture, send them any culture material that you have. If you have, and I know you probably do, a rocking culture guidebook, then of course you want to make sure that you courier that to them so they can start learning about your culture. If you have some training videos, some online videos that they can watch that brings your culture, that brings your values to life, then make sure they have access to that as well. Send them a copy of a book or two that your entire leadership team reads or your organization uses to help you shape and define your culture. And in a similar vein, if you don't send them a book, at least send them a recommended reading list of books that you highly recommend that they read within the next few months. Have the new hires create a video to talk about themselves. Ask a few standard questions, ask a few fun questions so that your employees can get to know the new hires just a little bit even before they've started. Invite the new hires to a social event before they've actually started on board. A lot of companies do this where they invite them to happy hour or to a special coffee a week or two before they actually start their position as just a soft introduction to the team. Ask them to fill out a fun questionnaire. Again, include some serious questions, but also some fun, interesting questions so that your employees can get to know the new hires. It's just important that we do this in both directions. Ask new hires to fill out a fun survey. You could have some serious questions about their needs and their expectations in terms of working in your organization, but also include some fun questions as, again, a simple way for your team to get to know the new people that are coming on board. Create a fun pre-onboarding video that you send out to all your new hires, and then you can easily customize it. You could add an extra minute to this video where you make it unique for them, where you call them by their name and you introduce them to their specific teammates and show them where they're going to actually be working and talk about how excited everybody is to have them coming on board. And send them a fun survival package, a survival kit. It could include anything from a 1-month gym membership, a gift certificate to the sandwich shop across the street from your office, a get out of jail free card for the first time they get into a bit of a tricky work situation, some fun office toys, some stress reliever toys, some books again. Just make it this whole kind of fun, welcoming kit that sends a message about how unique you are, sends a message about your culture, but also sends a message about how much you value employees and how much you value your new hires, and that starts even before they've begun working with you. Now, there's even more ideas in the book, of course, but I want to hear your ideas. What do you do to welcome new employees? What do you do to encourage new hires to learn about your culture before they've even started working with you? Please leave your comments in the comment box below. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my Inspiring Workplaces channel, please hit the subscribe button. Join our growing community as we talk about workplaces that rock.